out on the recruiting trail. Special teams coach, tight ends coach Doug Deakin back with us here on Xtra 1360 Fox Sports San Diego. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing really well, man. How are we?
Doug, we're great. And after the excitement of Rashad going number 1 to Seattle, we knew he was going to get drafted. There were some people, a lot of people thought it was going to be the second round, but to have him go number 1, incredible for Rashad, incredidible for the Aztecs and San Diego State University. We're a little stumped that guys like Cam Kelly, David Wells end up as free agents. Were you as puzzled as we were?
I anticipated them being draft picks because they play you see Cam, he got to play safety and corner, so he could have been evaluated at playing either position. I think the NFL projects him as a safety. And then you see David Wells, he runs in a pro-style offense. You saw all the blocking clips. You could see how he was a great play-action threat through the middle seam out to the flat, those sort of things. I was surprised, but I am certainly glad at where they ended up. Regardless of getting drafted or not, they're going to get a shot to play on Sundays, and I think they're with a great team that fits their skill set.
When we get to David Wells, I think back to Gavin Escobar, of course, former Aztec, was a second-round pick. Had played a lengthy time in the National Football League. I look at the tight end position, and I'm always trying to figure out, Coach, what exactly are they looking for? Have you figured out what the prototype is like as far as NFL tight ends is concerned?
Well, I think certainly size is the first indicator. You got to be, prototypically, long arms, about 6'4" is what they're running at. You look across the National Football League, David Wells, and you asked that question. I'm out on the recruiting trail right now. We had a great weekend with San Diego recruits in town. Now I'm up in the Bay Area, and David Wells came from Clovis North in Fresno, and he was their quarterback. At a string bean, 6'4", but he was their best player. He was tough. He ran with the ball. He obviously was the leader of the team in calling the offense. As far as what you look for, it's always, I guess, never a perfect recipe. But I let off. He's got to have some length. He's got to have some size because he's got to be accountable in the trenches, blocking defensive ends, blocking Sam backers down in the box there. So from there, you just want to make sure they're tough. Obviously, the more athletic they are, the better, because if they're a pass threat, oh, baby, try and cover those guys. Safeties at 6 foot, at best, and trying to cover 6'4" and 6'5" down the seam, that's a defensive coordinator nightmare and trying to match up there. So those were the things that David Wells, we knew coming out of Fresno, even coming from quarterback, he was tough, he was big enough, and he was a great athlete, and he developed into one heck of a tight end for us.
Coach, I go all the way back as a young kid being weaned on Aztec football. A lot of tight end greats have played for the Red and Black. Donnie Warren, you got Rob Awalt, Ray Rowe from Mira Mesa High School was a Redskin, and now you got a guy like David Wells moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. How much of a recruiting tool / chip is this for you, being able to read off a laundry list like that when you're recruiting a kid to come play tight end at State?
It's been awesome, and especially now with both David Wells and Daryl Richardson is going to get invited to Charger mini camp. So now I've lost 2 great tight ends out of the room, and it makes my job, my work cut out for me as I'm on the trail now to see who could possibly fill their shoes. But what the best thing is when I bring guys in, when guys see our film, and then to see that now he's going to get, both of them are going to get the chance to play on Sunday because we run a pro style. We utilize tight ends in 95% of our offensive plays. We did a whole season breakdown, and it's whether it's 1, we'll use 2, we'll even use 3 tight ends because, again, they're a mismatch for defenses, especially when they're a pass threat. So it's been great, and the guys are receptive to it because they may be a real tall wide receiver for their high school, but then they get a full year of training table meals and weight room, and all of a sudden they're 230 and 240, after being 215 in high school. And as long as they're tough enough and willing enough to put their face on defenders, they make great tight ends, and then they get the chance to live out the dream and play on Sundays because all 32 teams that come in and watch San Diego State football see that we're running, what they're running, and they can evaluate much better.
Doug Deakin is joining us, Aztec special teams tight end coach. He is a lifer. He is an Aztec.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, when we talk about Wells, when we talk about Cam Kelly not being drafted, but then, sort of getting their choice as free agents, I just go back a year ago with Calvin Munson. Undrafted. He ends up with the Giants as a free agent rookie, and look what he did as a rookie. I mean, I know these guys get, maybe disappointed when they don't hear their names called, but if you get to the 6th or 7th round, can it actually work to your advantage to be a free agent and maybe, choose a situation that might be best for you to make it in the NFL?
You hit it absolutely on the head, and all it's about is getting the opportunity. And to your point, as a free agent, now you can pick, whereas you get drafted and later on, 5th, 6th, 7th round, you are that team's, the rights of you go to that team. Whereas the guys that do not get drafted now can get their phone lights up after the draft because they're still the team's top picks, but they felt like they just didn't have to take them during the draft. They're kind of a sleeper, if you will. And then they get their call, and now you get to choose and you can think about where you'd fit best. And I can't think of a better fit for Cam with the Cowboys. And same goes for David Wells. Jason Witten departs. I mean, you tell me that he isn't a Witten 2.0. Now, that's lofty praise. He hasn't played yet or shown it in camp, but having been around him in his 5 years at San Diego State, he's got his opportunity, and I cannot wait to see what he does with it.
Well, hearing David Wells on this radio station in the past, I can already tell you he'll be a better broadcaster than Jason Witten, but that's a story for a different day. Coach, you just had a bunch of the recruits up to the school. You were showing around the university and the academic side and stuff like that. You mentioned you're out on the road right now. What's the next couple of weeks hold for you? You going to be out on the road recruiting?
Oh, yeah, and I am up in enemy lines right now, so to speak. Hey, are you going to be there week 1? Because I'm just went by Stanford Stadium August 31st. Can I get some Cannon Karma up in Palo Alto week 1?
Okay, We're going.
We're spreading as much Cannon Karma as we possibly can, Coach. We're doing it for everybody. Obviously, you need us. We're there.
Great. I'm saying don't wait till the first game of conference. Let's go. August 31st. It's a Friday game. Circle it on the calendar.
I think we can arrange a Friday broadcast up there and then the subsequent game that night, Coach. It'll be done.
Excellent.
All right. Well, Coach, I tell you what, by the way, Cuss, if you notice, our Cannon Karma calendar's filling up real quick.
It really is. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but that's okay. Aztecs will always be number 1 on our list. Coach, congratulations again. I tell you what, I can't wait to see what these kids will do. It's sort of like graduation day as, a lot of these Aztecs players move on to the NFL, but in the same breath, the new wave of players are coming in, and we'll continue this run with the Aztecs. All the best, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on, man. Thanks for talking Aztec football. Anytime.
Thanks, all right, Coach. Doug Deakin joining us right there.